Hello and welcome back to the Metamystic Show. This is a collective, timeless reading. What happens when the spiritual handler loses control over you? Well, we're gonna see. They seem to have a whole lot to say and a whole lot of energy to share with us. Stay balanced right now. This jailbreak is bigger than you realize. We're going to get 4 cards. Wait, what was that? Yep, contract. There it is. This is the end of a very long-standing contract for some people. Now let me preface this. This message is not going to be for everybody. Some of these cases are more extreme as well, right? Do we know what a spiritual handler is? Does everybody have kind of a concept of what a spiritual handler could mean? Now, let me put this in terms of like the 3D world. This could be something as more on the benign side of things, as like when you have some sort of a talent, you're a musician. 1, 2, 3, and outcome, our magic card. You could be, a musician. Let's just take that for an example. And you have a manager, right? That's a common concept, that you have a manager that takes care of everything for you, right? But if we move it more onto the extreme side of things, this could be like conservatorship, like what happened with Britney Spears. We even see like what happened with Jeanette McCurdy. She wrote that book. What was it called? I'm Glad My Mom Died. Why would she have said something like that? You're glad your mom died? Yeah, because for some people, that's the only way that you're going to get away from this lock and key. Now, I'm talking in terms of spiritual things, right? You never know who's watching. This could be literal for some people. This could even come down to, let's take it this way. This is another example. A husband and a wife. I'm just going to be heteronormative for a second here. Because we know we're not doing this stuff. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. It's just because we haven't had rights long enough to settle into the monotony of marriage. But anyways. So this is what it could be as well. Like a husband and a wife, and let's say the husband has control over all of the assets, all of the finances, and so the only way that the wife can buy that new bag she wants is if she squirrels away money and hides it from him. It could be something like that as well. But I'm talking about it more spiritually. I'm talking about a spiritual contract, as I always am, right? What I'm seeing is a literal jailbreak. I'm hearing the word jailbird as well. I'm glad that this came out because to me, the 6 of Swords, it's like moving through dimensions, moving through time. I connect it with like timeline work as well, timeline hopping, quantum physics, the God particle, stuff like that. Why do I connect it to that? I don't know, because every single time my guides are talking to me about that sort of material in my personal readings for myself, the 6 of Swords comes out. You would think it would be like the Chariot or something, but for some reason they show me this because I think it's a more mundane experience. When you are leaving something in the physical 3D reality, This is kind of like it's going on in your mind. Like everything else can seem normal. It's kind of like you're just sitting here. But behind you is the Ten of Swords. Like something is over, it's closed, it's done. But you're kind of moving away from it a couple steps ahead. That's what I'm seeing. It's giving Shawshank Redemption. It's like you're already out of the prison right now, so to speak. But nobody has caught on to this yet. I will say the only reason I'm able to put out a reading like this is because you're already safe into the other side. Or your guides have you in a position where I'm hearing it's like a done deal. I wouldn't be able to be talking about this because it would put people in, I'm hearing like witness protection. People that are in like witness protection, it put them in danger. So. But what I was going to say is like this is you moving through life as you are, but something really, really big is happening behind the scenes. Like you might feel normal. You might feel the same. Look at it like this. You're this Queen of Cups, male, female, non-binary, however you identify, right? You're just kind of like living your everyday empath life, doing your thing, being the person that you are, and then all of a sudden you step into this Empress status. The reason why I'm seeing you going from Queen of Cups to Empress is because you have escaped some sort of contract that was holding back your wealth, so to speak, or your status, or your understanding of who you really have been all this time. It's not necessarily that you've changed at all, actually. It's just the understanding. It's kind of like somebody that thinks that they don't... How do I say this? You've been this Empress all along, is my point. And you're showing up as the Queen of Cups because that's one aspect of the Empress. She's all for queens, and it doesn't matter if you're a man or however you identify here. It's showing up as the feminine, I believe, because there's an element of captivity in this reading. Right? And this could have been, like, say you're a man, this could have been your mother. Doesn't have to be a mother, it could be a woman in your life, right? Who was able to strong arm you, not because they're actually stronger than you, smarter than you, more capable than you, any of that, but because they could have studied you. They could have figured out what made you tick over a long period of time, right? If this was a romantic situation, especially, so that then they could use those things against you, right? They're doing it, they're catering to this softer side of you, right? Now, if this was a mother, for example, it's your mom. Like, you're going to be helping your mom. You're going to be caring about your mom if you're a Queen of Cups. Like, so there could have been control over you in this contract, possibly even regarding money here. Or sometimes I see the Ten of Pentacles as a card of just the home. Like, I see this as like a house sometimes. If you take the people out, it's kind of like that family room card for me in the Kipper deck. Where I take all the people out of it. It's kind of like if you just walk into somebody's home when they're on vacation and you're house sitting. Sometimes I see it that way. It's like, this is the point. There is a person who was habitating your home, so to speak, your body, your soul, if you want to get really metaphysical and spiritual and out there with it. Say this is your body. Somebody was putting themselves as the queen of your castle, taking over your physical body and your life and pulling all the strings. And because of your kind heart, because of who you are as a person, as well as the other obvious things that most people would agree with in society. If this was your mom, for example, if this was a partner, this could be a man. This could be a man that's using a feminine quality to pull on your heartstrings. You know, like maybe they'll start crying in front of you and showing a soft side, but they're actually only doing it to manipulate you. That can go a lot of different ways. Why do I say that? Because we have the Ten of Swords. This person's not innocent. They're not innocent. Your guides had to literally put together an entire escape operation over a long stretch of time with the Knight of Pentacles. Could have even been in the dead of night, I'm seeing. They had to set up, this is what your guides are showing me, they had to set up watchers to guide you through this process. And I believe I'm speaking to you actually from the other side, but this is what I was going to say. This is what I was trying to explain. Because it could be like you realize all of a sudden that you have like millions of dollars where before you were just like living a meager lifestyle. Now, I'm not saying it's literally that. It's something like that, where it's like you wake up the next day, everything feels normal, you feel the same. Okay, maybe you got away from a toxic situation you felt like was controlling you, possibly even was a parent, or you felt like your finances were threatened all these years and you couldn't understand why. Look, 2 cards of being in the dark. Maybe you felt like you couldn't find a sense of creativity. We have 3 aces here. Then you got a different perspective from your guides. They helped you move out of something. Could even be within a relationship here, guys, since we have a match with the King and Queen of Pentacles. This can go a lot of different ways. Possibly you're in a long-term commitment with somebody that you're moving away from here. This can go a lot of different ways. So let's just stay open to what this could mean. This could even be an employer for some of you here, but let me condense it. This is really the crux of the message here. You had a spiritual handler. Again, this is not for everybody. This is a specific thing, right? And you will know, trust me, because you feel controlled, dominated, and in the dark on exactly what's happening. It's kind of like shocking. Like somebody comes in the room, they say a bunch of stuff to you, they leave the room, you agree to something, and you're like, what did I just agree to? Right? So it gets more complicated depending on who this person is to you. If it's your mother, if it's a partner, if it's your father, if it's an uncle, a sibling, a friend, somebody that you care about, that you're kind of letting dominate you in a way. And I'm saying that as in, I'm talking to empaths with the Queen of Cups. I'm saying, you know that you have power. Or you should, because you do, right? So it's almost like letting somebody win at chess because possibly even you're scared of this person. You make yourself smaller around this person, and that's part of what a handler is. If you're wearing a collar, they pull you around like a dog. They get you to do whatever they want you to do. And that sort of manipulation and captivity can go, and I'm not a doctor, let's bring out TW, can span from one side of the spectrum to a completely other side, like Hong Kong, TW, the trigger warning clown in the house. What up, everybody? Nice to see you. This could be like Stockholm syndrome, like somebody has cut you off from society. They've become a captor to you. Your friends are no longer in the picture. The only people that are involved with the situation are people that are on their side of the table, so to speak. And this has been something that's been well established over a long period of time, so it would be very hard to change the perspective of the jury. People see you a certain way and they see this person in a certain way and in a certain light in a certain situation, And it would take a lot for that to be changed. And that's part of it. This is over a long span of time that these sorts of things are put into place. And that's why we're talking about a spiritual handler today, because this is an orchestrated operation. It's like an orchestra. Thank you to everybody. The other day on my video, I could not think of the word orchestra for some reason, but that's been coming through a lot. Everyone playing a different instrument, creating a beautiful sound. But in this case, it's like a cacophony. A cacophony is like, it could be an orchestra, but instead it's just a bunch of loud, obscure sounds going together. They're all dissonant. None of them go together. Nobody's harmonizing. Kind of a little bit like the Five of Wands. Everybody's arguing over each other. Nobody's taking their correct positions. It's giving kind of like a motley crew of goons that this person or group has put together to help them to keep you in check, because you've gotten stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger, and they've had to continue to change their plans. They've had to send monitoring spirits to see what you're going to do next, to try to understand what your plans are so that they could stop you from what you've already done, which is escape the situation. And let me say this again, just to clarify. Nothing might have changed in the 3D. You could just still be sitting here as you always were, but something has changed in the astral, and that's what my message is today. New doors are going to start opening for you, but it's going to take a little time. It's kind of like, a lot of us are doing taxes right now, right? It's tax season when I'm filming this. And it takes a little time, like if you're getting a federal or a state return, to have that money sent to you, right? Or just for things to be processed, especially if it's government stuff. It takes a little time for these things to finalize. But what I'm getting is, it's as if it's already finalized. It's just a matter of time. It's almost like you were given an inheritance for $17 million, but it's going to take a little while for that to clear in your account, so to speak. And I'm saying that because we have the Ten of Pentacles here. So for some people, this literally could be some sort of an inheritance. We have 10-10. Somebody could have passed away recently. It doesn't have to be that. It could also be, for some, this is a very select few, but a spiritual handler could have died. Right? And so what happens is, like I said to you before about the Jeanette McCurdy story, I'm glad my mom died. Why? Why would you say something like that? Oh, because the only way I'm ever going to be free is if my mom does die. So somebody could have died. We have the Empress, mother, grandmother, aunt, Queen of Cups, somebody you love and care about, right? Doesn't mean all of these people are terrible people. It means in the spiritual dimension, they could have used you. They could have monitored you since you were a child, or the spirits that work with them, I should say, the entities that work with them. Really, if we actually zoom out, these people are pawns. They're not even the ones running the show. They're the ones that are actually being held by the neck of their higher-ups, so to speak. Now, if this is sounding a little out there for you, I don't know what to tell you. If you're new here, I'm 12th House Stellium. This has been my lifelong, study. Since I was a kid. Why? Because when I was a child, I was shivering in my bed in the middle of the night, and I saw demons in my room. Well, I used to call them demons. I guess I call them entities now, right? Does it really matter? Does it really matter what they're called? They're interdimensional beings, and there's lots of different types. But this one today that we're talking about is a spiritual handler, right? Somebody that has a contract. They're like a manager. And there's lots of different reasons why this would be happening, why you would be given up as a sacrifice of sorts from either your family, your partner, somebody who's starting to deal with the devil, supposedly, right? That's how I'm going to say it. Doesn't mean it's literally that, right? What this is it's an organized contract, even though I'm really not seeing this operation too organized, if I'm honest. It looks like a bunch of goons to me hitting each other over the head and like a comedic old school like television show or something. It looks what is it? The Three Stooges. It reminds me of that a little bit, is the energy of this. So it's almost as if I'm seeing your guides being like, okay, the coast is clear, and you just walk right out of the prison. You walk out like the front door. This could be like you walked out the front door of your house and you just left and never came back. Maybe you broke up with somebody, right? Maybe you moved away. Maybe you quit a job. And that was it. That's how easy it was for you to get out of this contract. But this handler, whoever this was for you, was so convinced that they had you so trapped, so around their finger, that even if the door was just left open for you, you wouldn't leave. That's why I talked about Stockholm Syndrome before, right? It's something like that. I'm not saying you have that. I'm not saying I have that. I've wondered in the past if I did, if I'm honest with you. And I do have CPTSD. But with that said, I've escaped multiple times from different things. That's how I'm able to talk about it. Because I've studied it to make damn sure I know how this stuff works so that I can expose it. So, all right, let's move. It's like when you get into the van, you have like a group of people. I feel like you have a group of people. You have a spiritual group. You're working with a spiritual group, and I'm seeing them pull up in an unmarked van, and they're like, come on. You get right in the van, they close the door, and I'm seeing you like in the back of the van, in the astral. Let me just do this one more time because it sounds so damn cool. Right? Yeah. So what does this mean for the collective spirit? Because I feel like you've been trying to figure out why you have felt the way you felt. You might not have even understood that any of this was what's been going on, right? You could have just felt like, wow, why are all these like doors closing for me? Well, I'm still just gonna be an awesome person anyway. I'm still just gonna be a good person and love my friends and family and love the planet and just care about animals and do all this stuff, even though I don't understand why things haven't been working out for me and I don't get why. It's like, and I'm not giving an excuse to people either. We have to work really hard to make our dreams happen. I don't feel like I have to qualify that with this group. I feel like I'm talking to a very spiritual, esoteric group of people today that know what I'm saying. I'm not saying you can just sit on your ass, do nothing, and then be like, why don't I ever get anything happening to me in my life? Because we're the ones who open the doors. What I'm talking about is you have done things in your life to attract these opportunities to you. Love, money, ideas, creativity, trips, fun. You could have even built something, right? And it's like, why? I can't understand. It's almost like there's rats in the walls, like there's mice in the walls. Like every single time I come into the kitchen in the morning and open up my cabinet, why are all the cereal boxes eaten through? It's like there's like vermin in the house. It's giving the mice card from the Lenormand. It's like the mice, you don't understand where are these mice coming from? It's from the handler. They take from you. That's really what all it is just they take all the good karma that you receive just from being the person that you are, they take that from you. before you even get a chance to get it. I'm seeing them going out to the mailbox. It's giving like Gypsy Rose, and I know that's very controversial for me to say. I don't have a better story to go off of. I literally just saw Gypsy Rose this morning on TikTok, so I don't really have commentary, to be honest with you. But I'm seeing somebody opening up like the blinds, watching this person go out to the mail. They're looking through like all the letters, and they're just taking the ones that are yours, or they're taking the ones that are yours, right? I wish I had an alien card. Or they're taking the ones. Because, yeah, why are there no aliens in the tarot, right? And they're putting it in their pocket before you even see the letter. That's what this is, okay? That's the equivalent of this. All your good stuff coming in the mail that you have attracted, it's like they're getting to it first and they're putting it in their pocket. They're not even giving you a cut. You're having to beg them for your own energy, for your own money, for your own time. They've created this system. Who this message applies for. If this is not your story, thank God. Thank God. Right? This is not like, well, what is she saying? This is scaring me. This doesn't resonate. Thank God it doesn't resonate, man. Why would I want this bullshit to resonate? I would never want this to resonate with anybody. You know what I mean? It's like, anyways, just whatever. Let's keep abuse as niche as possible. Melissa Gordon for president. Okay, never mind. You're not going to get anywhere with the healthcare system being a president. We've seen that enough. Okay. Just open up to the King of Swords. See, you have like a hidden helper. Yep, you have an angel. You have a hidden helper in the system, and they're coming through like a mole. I feel like, okay, yeah, sure, this handler, whatever, we give them too much power. Yeah, they had, and I'm going to open the cards, guys. This whole thing is a channeled message. I'm not just talking. I know I got a lot of Mercury, but this has a point. Yeah, you could have even had multiple people. You could have had like up to 3 different moles here that would send messages. I've said before on the channel, yeah, look, send messages specifically regarding this contract. These are messengers, these knights, specifically regarding this contract. Quietly, secretly. For many years, I'm hearing for some. Now, it depends who this person is for you, right? If this is family, and it doesn't have to be somebody you know, right? These are entities. These are spirits coming through people. They're not really people, guys. Like Elon Musk, you know? It's like Mark Zuckerberg. Are they people? We don't really know. So let's just... We don't really know. And the world may never know. The world may never know. So what I'm seeing is like, yeah, we always talk about in readings, right? Like, oh, there's monitoring spirits. Of course there are. They have to see what you're doing because they're trying to figure out, you don't have an agenda. You're just a good person. But they think that you have an agenda. So they're trying to figure out what all your schemes and plans are. But really, you just woke up and chose to love people on the planet. That's it. That's all. That's your motive. I'm not saying you're a perfect person. I'm just saying you just want to have a good life. You want peace. You want balance. You want to understand yourself, know thyself. You could be like into stoicism and philosophy and trying to understand the world and yourself and life. You could be into psychology. You could be, I'm hearing something about meteorology. Depending on like which way you lean, you could lean more science with it. You could lean more like philosophical, spiritual introspection with it. Regardless, you're just a person. You kind of stay to yourself. Right? I'm not saying you have no friends. We have people here. On this handler's side, they have always had monitoring spirits on you to watch your next move. Why? So that you couldn't escape. Because they want to keep pocketing this spiritual cash. Let's put it that way. And it can come through as ideas. It's like a reservoir of like never ending. It's like a fountain of youth for others, like siphoning your beauty, siphoning your energy, siphoning possibly even like your sex drive for some, like, you know, depending on like the sacral chakra, it's creativity, it's sexual energy. So that can make people a lot of money. That can get people a lot of attention if they're on social media. That can make people's skin look better. It's like slurping up the juices of the freaking fountain of youth, right? It could even come down to like this person is literally stealing your own mind. And I'm going to make a reading about this coming up. This is like a copycat energy. And I know a lot of readers talk about this stuff. Why? Is it because, oh, they just keep talking about this stuff? Why do readers talk about that stuff? Let's think about it. Because that's how common it is. It's not that people are just like stealing ideas, or I feel like this handler stealing ideas. I'm speaking meta. I'm going a layer out, speaking about the tarot community from an outside perspective looking in. It's like, why do people keep making videos about copycats and stuff? That's because there's so many spirits. There's so many entities. There's so many people with talents. There's not just like one story. This is a mass group. This is happening across the board. This is a thing. It's a concept. It's not a news story. It's an entire thing that has happened through the ages, right? So in my readings, I'm not really talking about this is a news story for a specific person, and it may be you and it may not be you. I'm more talking about if you relate to this, this is a concept that's happening. Right? Currently. And as well as, that's why I make my readings timeless, because this is something that's just happening through the ages of time. So anyways, I'm seeing a lot of like ancient ruins right now as I'm speaking. This is ancient. You could have been like in the castle of so-and-so thousands of years ago. This is ancient. So anyways, this is what I'm seeing. We always talk about, we give these assholes too much power is my point. Oh, they have monitoring spirits on us. Of course they freaking do. That's what they do. You also have people. You have moles. You have double agents. You have people. You have angels. You have people in the legal system, the justice system. You have more than they have. That's why it's silly, really, that this person, this handler, this entity, whatever you want to call these things, they have the audacity, they have a God complex. They become so drunk with power. It's like the tortoise and the hare. Oh, I'm so proud. I'm just going to take a little nap even. That's how much I have absolutely no faith that this person's ever going to win, that's ever going to outwit me, that's ever going to leave my control. I'm literally going to take a nap in their face. But this is, of course, the downfall of that, right? Pride will eventually catch up with you, because the drunker you get, being drunk, you can't outrun being drunk. Like, if you're drunk, you're drunk. You're going to do shit that you wouldn't normally do. If you get drunk with power, you're going to crash your car. You're going to stumble over the edge. You're going to fall off the bridge. You're going to bet on the horse $75,000 and lose because you were an idiot. Right? Oh, this is a great idea. Oh, I've been drinking all night. I'm going to bet $75,000 on this fine steed here that my friend over here, Bob, that I just met 15 minutes ago, told me is a sure thing. So I'm going to bet all my money on that. It's like stupid. This is giving stupid, right? Because they get drunk with power. But you stay grounded, or that's the advice. This was part of the plan the entire time. This was the contract. So really, let's cycle back around the entire thing and come back. If we really want to look at the truth of this, you were always safe. The terms of the contract make that the reality. That you were always going to be getting out of here. That you always were going to get your assets back, right? Your ace is back. I'm seeing the Six of Cups peeking out. Yeah. See, some of you were high priestesses in a past life. We got a lot of Scorpio energy here and Cancer. Yeah. A lot of water. A lot of water working here. Waterworks. Somebody could be putting on the waterworks. Don't be careful. That somebody could be coming back in and you might be confusing something where this person knows that there's the time's up in the contract. So they're trying to come back around here. Be careful with that. Because you can open this back up is what I'm getting. Because it is free will, right? But anyways. Alright, let's get to the cards. I know that was a long opening, guys. But that it's a complex message. I do my best. Thank you for being here, everyone. We'll go through these pretty quick. Card number 1 is the World. Yeah, see, this is over. It's over. Like I said at the start, only reason I'm able to speak on this message publicly because it would put you in danger is because you're already safely to the other side of this. This is like a notarized signed. Where did my King of Swords go? Why did I put him back? I need your King of Swords. Anyways, all right. Here, close enough. We got an Aquarius. We have an air sign. Okay. They're signing it. They're notarizing it. They're probably passing it through to multiple people for this to be approved. That's why this took a while, right? So this is already over. I'm talking to you. You're safely on the other side, and you probably just haven't seen the effects yet, right? It's kind of like just starting a whole new life with the Judgment. This is, you're being born again, essentially. It's like you get a new chance on life, no matter how old you are. It's not about age. See, it's like it already went through the judgment process. It already went through the courts. They already weighed this other person's heart and it was found lacking, and weighed yours and they passed you through, and you went through all the... You might have even not even realized that you were going through all of these like rituals, and some of you did because we have the High Priestess. That you participated in all of this, that you were actually working with a team and a group of people, moving you through, moving you out, doing everything that you needed to do in order to get you to the other side to end this thing for good. And so now you're showing up as the World, not the Judgment. You're showing up, this is done. Card number 2 is the Lovers. Yeah, for some of you, this was a lover. Or this was, stay with me. This could, if you were a child when this contract began, right? Say these are your parents, because we have the Page of Pentacles. Why do I keep putting my cards back, y'all? That Page of Pentacles was important. Why did I put him back? Here he is. Or her. Or they. It's the pages. To me, the pages are kind of like genderless. I don't know why. But anyways, okay, so this could have been you as a kid. These are your parents, right? part of this contract. Now, what can happen with these? Let's think about it in old terms, right? Or maybe even still today in some countries, right? Where parents pick a lover for their child to marry, right? Now, understandable, that happens in some cultures and it happened throughout time, right? But in today's world, that's not really, that's just not really. So what I'm seeing is that for some people here, it's like this was a spiritual thing. They put you with somebody that would keep you trapped on purpose. They wanted you trapped since childhood. That was the first contract. Then there could have even been more than I'm seeing like a couple ones, but I'm going to just stick to this. This is the way that they kept the money rolling in. I'm seeing the 10 of Pentacles. For some of you, this is literally just about money. By you being in this contract, it's like, I'm seeing cows lined up and they're on the machine. The machines are just milking the cows. They're just milking the cows. It's like a whole lineup of star seeds where they milk the cows, they milk the cows, they milk the cows. And they throw them in these terrible conditions and they just keep milking them. And they take them in when they're kids specifically. So that they don't have the cognizance, so that they don't have the... It's like with the Jeanette McCurdy story. She said she didn't even want to go to those auditions. She didn't even want to. It's like there were some kids that would come in there like so excited and happy, but she kind of didn't want to do it. It's giving that. It's like they put you in a contract against your will because you were a kid. Then later in life, they connected you, this is all spiritual of course, to a lover that you would eventually be with, that they could continue to pull these strings. So really I'm a 12th house stellium, hidden enemies. So really this lover was your enemy the entire time. Okay? Why does my partner in competition with me? Why does my partner hate me? Why do they abuse me? Why does it seem like my partner doesn't even love me at all? Well, it's a good question. I've wondered that too about a lot of stuff. And it's led me to this research. So, nothing I say can be used against me. No, I'm just kidding. In a court of law. But yeah. This also could have to do with some sort of choice that you made. Like I said, the front door was always left open. That was part of this contract. It's like the contract states that you can leave at any time, technically. But if you are groomed, pardon my language, trigger warning, if you are groomed, you could be an adult being groomed. You don't have to be a kid. To a certain mindset, a certain practice, a certain way of manipulation, of working. It's like, it's giving the dogs, Pavlov's dogs, where it's like every single time, say it like this. Pretend this. It's like every single time I start shuffling. Every single time I start shuffling, say I take a sip. And you do that for 4 years in a row. Yeah, see, it's like getting into your deep, embedded belief systems where it's become subconscious. Yeah, there's the lovers. For some of you, this is a lover, right? Could also be a Gemini. We have Taurus. We have the fixed signs, Aquarius, Scorpio, Taurus, and Leo, as well as Saturn. It's a conditioning, right? So it's written in the contract that yes, it's so that they can get away with this. They could tell everybody else, oh, there's no, that they can leave at any time. They're free. They're this, they're that. But if you're conditioned that you can't do things on your own, there's no way you can survive in the world. You're not really good at many things. They broke you down, made you feel like you couldn't have a regular job, made you feel like you had to rely on them for money, made you feel like you weren't attractive and you couldn't find anybody else, right? All that stuff, whatever. Why do we stay in a cage with an open door, right? And these contracts bet they bet on your downfall. But this is something I learned from the stock market, trading options. I traded options for a couple years and learned about puts. In options trading, options are a little bit different than trading stocks. Options are trading contracts. So if you buy puts, in short, speaking of shorting, shorting a stock, but speaking of, in short, when you buy a put, every time the company goes down in value, the stock goes down in value, you make money. So it's like these contracts bet against us, right? They use our love against us. They use our empathy against us. They use our trusting, beautiful hearts that, that they're still good in the world against us. That we care about the people we love against us. That we have solid moral beliefs against us. So let's start using some stuff against them. Let's start trading puts. So it's like you make money as they're going down, so to speak. Right. Card number 3 is the King of Wands. Yeah, we got to start taking control of this and being the leader of this situation. It's giving that. It's like all you've got to do is walk out the door. I'm hearing that song. One foot in front of the other, and soon I'll be walking out the door. I think that is from The Abominable Snowman. It's coming through with the 6 of Cups. It's one of those old Christmas movies. Put one foot in front of the other, and soon I'll be walking out the door. Yeah, for some of you, this definitely could have been childhood. Since childhood, they've been siphoning from you. But for others, this came later in life. The King of Wands is the leader of his own life. He holds all the cards. It's like one day, he's an inmate. The next day, the King of Wands, he's so smooth with it too. The King of Wands is hot. Male, female, non-binary, however you identify. It's like one day they come in and they're an inmate, right? The next, they're just wearing a striped t-shirt. Because it's all about how you portray yourself. See, these people, these entities, these handlers use your kindness, or they saw your kindness as a weakness, and that's how they were able to pull the strings. But the second you learn how to combine these energies, you're unstoppable. Because you still have your heart, but maybe you know how to trade puts on the side, for example. Maybe you have a friend who's a lawyer or an accountant. Maybe you can do some research on your own and figure out what the hell you're going to do, and then make the choice to end something or put an end to some sort of perception that was never you to begin with. Has a little bit of a different flair. It's like all he's got to do is just be like, I don't identify with that label. And that's how simple it is for some of you here. It's like standing up to, and the King of Wands knows how to stand up to anything. I'm hearing stand up to the competition. For some of you, this whole thing can be like in a career, which can definitely happen. Like I said, you know, in Hollywood and stuff, it's like these handlers, they have the control over everything. But that's just a 3D world example. It's like a Tiger King sort of a thing. They take in these like rare, impressive, like dazzling, a lot of the times kids, where they sense that, wow, they have spiritual gifts. They have deep spiritual gifts. So they get them while they're young. And I took notes the whole way. So, joke's on them, right? Big mistake. Big. Huge. Card number 4, our outcome, is the 10 of Cups. Yeah. You're free, is what this is. It's like you get your life back with the 10 of Cups. You're going to feel at home again. It's like your insides are going to feel... I'm seeing that Temperance card again. It's like this is what the inside of you is going to look like. Remember how I was talking about before earlier in the reading with the 10 of Pentacles? It's like something inhabiting you and sitting on the throne of your own consciousness, essentially, like pulling the strings of everything. This is like the opposite of that. This is like, this is peace. This is your land. Like you own all this land. You have your own river that runs through your property, your own house that you built. The open skies, people that you love. This is all you. It's like you're getting your life back. That's all this is. You are getting your freedom from this overlord, in a sense, that you felt something was going on, felt like you were swimming against the current, and what's happening is it's kind of like somebody comes in and they turn off the switch and you realize, wow, I was inside of a building. This is all, it's like the Matrix. It's all a simulation. I actually was just in a wave pool this whole time, and they had the waves turned on, and I was trying to swim, all the while I could have just gotten out of the damn pool, walked out the front of the facility, gotten in my car, and went home. But because of this grand spectacle and how much of an illusion, I'm so surprised the 7 of Cups didn't come up here. Such an illusion all of this is. See, they're such an illusionist that we can't even see that they were an illusionist in this reading. But since I've spent my life figuring these motherfuckers out and how they work and how it feels, how the energy feels, even though they're cloaked, I mean, these people could even be like religious, or they could show up as like a homeless person on the street that you would never expect, or they like hide themselves behind a group of people, or, you know, whatever. Maybe they move around a lot, or so people don't really know them. Like, we have the devil right here with the 10 of Swords. However, it doesn't matter. I don't need the 7 of Cups. I know the energy, I know what I'm seeing, and I know what my guides have been showing me because they told me to make this video. Really, I don't need the cards. The cards just help to illuminate more of our advice, which is the King of Wands, which is basically the door's open, all you've got to do is walk through, but it takes a lot of strength to do that when you've been dealing with this sort of entity lording over you this whole time. Part of this entire initiation with the Hierophant, again, it was a simulation after all. It grew you in your spiritual gifts, where now it's like you don't even need cards. You don't even need, and we love cards, right? But it's like you don't need even another reader to tell you about this. You already know. And that's part of this. It's like you already know. You've learned through this situation. Now you're free. It's just a label. It's just a piece of paper. It means nothing except the value that you put on it. You're the one with all the power. Even in your own confinement. All you've got to do is just rip it up. I love you guys. It's been Missy Gordon, the Metamystic here. Remember, you can always listen to this show on Spotify and Apple Podcasts every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 9 a.m. EST. And you can always watch the show with your own 2 eyeballs on my YouTube channel at The Metamystic. I want to take a minute to shout out and thank all who donate to support the show and the channel. I love you guys and appreciate you so much. Well, I love everybody here, but I specifically just like to shout out the people that do give, and I do send my blessings in return to all who give. So we just like to be grateful for that. And for all you who comment and share your stories, I thank you for being here. I thank you for the lives that you've been living to help the collective move. This is a group effort. When you move, we all move, right? So I want to thank each and every one of you and commend your strength for everything that you've been going through. There is an end in sight, but it's not really about an end. It's really more about the new beginning that we continue to create every day when we wake up in the morning. Every day is a new day to start again. It's like a new reality. You can wake up yesterday and you could be an inmate. And you can wake up 3 days from then and rip up that label and move forward with your life. And that would be completely within the realm of your reality that you could create. So I love you guys. And if you want to book a personal, you can always email me. And until next time, I'll see you on the next one.